Welcome to the new Single Touch Payroll 2 program from Simple Books. This is a very major update that the Australian Taxation Office have requested that all people that receive a wage or salary have to now use. We have now completed most of the items enough to get approved, and there are still things that we'd like to improve on internally as well, so please bear with us and contact us if you see something that you think we should know about. Anyway, now when you log in to the program, you'll now come to this little menu. Go to accounting or go to payroll. So if you don't need to use the accounting program because they are quite separate, then just click on go to payroll. And you might have noticed there was a checking your data. The program has a lot of updates to it on the data fields, and it just goes through there. If you receive any error messages, please let us know at that point, but it should go all the way through and present you with the menu on the left. We will go through various sections on what you should do step by step. So in the first instance we will look at employees, so that is in the next chapter. Thank you. The next step is to open up your employee list and check to make sure that all the settings are now set correctly. There is quite a significant amount of change, so let's go and have a look. So under active employees that are in our list, if we go to click on there, the actual employee details haven't changed. But here you'll find a number of different changes here. So the type of employment is full-time for most people, but it can be part-time or casual or labour hire. Now when a person ceases their employment, you then have to say whether it's voluntary, ill health, deceased, redundancy, dismissal and all that sort of arrangement. But for most of them, you will just have them as still employed because, well, after all, they are. Now, the tax treatment, that is whether you're a regular taxpayer, actor, horticulturist, seniors, pensioners, and so on. There is a whole list of them there. Again, most people will be regular. Similarly, income type is salary and wages for the most part, but it can be closely held payees, which is like mum and dad owners of a trust, that sort of thing, where they pay themselves wages. But there are other items there as well, but for the best part it'll be just salary and wages. And so once you've got that corrected, we'll click on save. And we're also going to have a look at the various rates. Now in this particular case we have a pay period of $2,000 per pay period, superannuation at 10%, and on the tax information side of things we have some changes here. So is there a tertiary help debt, yes or no? Is there any annual offsets? And a new field here is if somebody wishes to have extra tax taken out in their pay, you just put the amount in there. The other thing is if there are any fringe benefits, is the firm taxable or exempt? So and similarly with Medicare type, Are they just on normal rates, reduced, or have exemptions? For the best part, it will be just normal rates. If they have a spouse, how many children do they also have? And also, are they claiming the tax-free threshold or no tax-free threshold? So once we have all that information, we can click on Save. What I will do is I will go in and make that, well, there it is already, $20 extra per pay, and I'll show you how that comes out when we do a pay period. So there is lots of work behind the scenes that you don't get to see, but that's fine. So long as you've set all of those various settings, then we're ready to move on to the next chapter. In this chapter we will look at timesheets and see what changes there are there. So we click on Enter Timesheets, select a pay period, and we'll select the times. Now in this particular case, I know there was $2,000 set for this person, but in this pay period they were actually paid $2,370 as director's fees. I could have put a casual amount there as well. It all gets reported slightly differently. Also, on the 1st of July we will remove the overtime column. It's no longer required, and you also have a notes column where you can make notes if you need to remember a particular payment or some sort of calculation. You can use the notes column now. So we'll save the changes for that one, and likewise if we go back to the next item, we have 20 hours of ordinary time at $500, and we have 250 of paid leave, which can be things like annual leave or compassionate leave or things like that. If you drop down the list there, you will see that there's like about 20 different types of income. So there's ordinary, time and a half, double time, back pay, termination A, leave without pay, if that just needs to be recorded, leave loading, time plus 75%, sick pay, salary sacrifice, so fringe benefits other, and fringe benefits super, and that will form part of the reportable fringe benefits at the end of the year. And similarly, paid leave of different types, and paid leave other, which is things like annual pay. And there are bonuses and commissions, directors' fees, time in lieu, and lump sum E and W. So you've got all of those choices, and so we'll make that one 250. We'll save the changes and go back, and that is that. Now the next thing, of course, is the payday. So we'll look at that now, and we'll go and select the pay period. Now this is going to be a normal lodgement, but you can have a full file replacement where there's been no financial details changed, and you can also have a full file replacement where there have been changed financials. That's one way of correcting errors and things like that that may have happened throughout the pay periods. So normal lodgement, click on OK, and you'll see that the gross pay $2,370, $204 in tax, and 10% super, $237. Now similarly with the $750 as a monthly pay, there would be no tax, but if you remember, we set an extra $20 per pay to be taken out of her pay and sent as tax. So that's been recorded there as well. So when you are ready to lodge, you obviously click on the center ATO just like the last time, and you will see very similar reports showing whether it's been lodged correctly or not. So that is that one. So another feature that has changed since the version 1 is to do with superannuation. In the old version, you could set an individual rate which included both the super guarantee and any additional amount. That has now changed. So firstly, under employees maintenance, you've got update super guarantee. So you can update the superannuation guarantee, which is going up by 0.5% every year. So what you can do is put in 10.5 if that's the amount, and enter the new rate. Now that tells you that the rates have all been updated, and that now you can close that tab. Now that was done because you now have to record any additional superannuation not as part of the super guarantee but as part of reportable superannuation. So if you notice under enter timesheets, if we just go and select one that we've dealt with before, and if you hit the download thing, you must now put superannuation and fringe benefit super in there. So if this is against a bonus or commission, you must use BC in the notes, but that's okay. That's just a thing for bonuses and commissions. But you just put in the amount of the fringe benefit. So it might be, say, you put $1,000 in on that one there, same message again, but you'll notice it doesn't add it to the gross. Okay, so it's just recording the fact that you've got a fringe benefit super, and that information is sent to the taxation office. So we'll just hit back, because we don't need to save that. And that's that part.